Joining us from Husker Online, longtime guy covering the Huskers way back in 1962.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sip. How you doing?
Are we at like the same age?
You're two years older than me.
Well,
But it's a long 2 years.
How old am I? I mean, how do
I'm
you know?
55, you're 57, right?
I'm like a Cuban pitcher. I just,
You never know how old you are.
Yeah, I might be
Came early.
45.
Yeah. Let's real quick about the sellout streak.
I think we're all right on that.
So you're fine. You'll get everybody in trouble. Sip, real quick on the sellout streak before we move on to the game.
Yeah.
What was the feel for you heading into that week and how much that was a big part of the story?
The Illinois game?
The sellout streak part of it.
Oh, the sellout streak. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir. Sorry.
That was,
You were worried about getting in trouble.
I don't think that's a huge story for the team. I think that's a fan story.
Sure.
I don't like
the
Matt
media.
Rule answered that question really well. Like his job is to win the game, concentrate on winning the game, so the fans enjoy the moment. I mean, it's a worthwhile thing to celebrate, obviously, but I don't think it's a big part of the game not a big part of the game.
Yeah.
The crowd was going to be good no matter what. That's where I'd come down.
Sip, at this point of the season, through 4 games, are you surprised that we are discussing as much as we have about the struggles with the defense
Yeah.
the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm shocked. Come on, if you zoom out and look at the conversation we're having now versus the conversation we were having 5 weeks ago, it's way different. You know, we were talking about the defense being the strength of the team, and now we're talking about a freshman quarterback being the strength of the team, or the thing that makes you the most optimistic. So, oh yeah, I'm startled by how quickly the narrative shifted. That's what I'm startled by.
How much do you feel like we have to do with that, though? Because, I mean, we can kind of set the parameters in which folks get excited, right?
Yeah, but so can Rule and so can Tony White. And those guys were Tony White was talking about having the best defense in the country. So it's not all the media.
No, I meant like the goals, right? He's talking about the goals, right? We
Yeah.
want to be the best defense in the country.
Well, yeah, he said that. And I mean, some of it's just because of what they did last year and just the sheer numbers. I mean, they were 7th in the nation in yards per play allowed, which is what I look at closely. They were a top 10 defense last year. Now, I get it. What people are going to say is, yeah, they didn't play much. Not much offense. They played
They didn't play
some.
tough quarterbacks.
Right. But still, so your expectation was maybe they'd be a top 10 defense. You just haven't seen it in the last 2 games. You did see it in the first 2, I would say, but you haven't seen it in the last 2. So now what?
I'm curious. I think sometimes we tend to fast forward to like 3rd down, stop rate, and how they're getting them off the field. Are you surprised Nebraska has struggled so much defensively on 1st down?
First down.
Yeah.
Because that's been their Achilles, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
3rd down.
The stat of the game against Illinois was 19 rushes on 1st down by Illinois for 5.5 yards.
Yeah.
That's the stat of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't regard that as a red flag, I mean, you're not looking at things objectively. That's a huge red flag.
I think situationally what happens, a lot of times that's film study, right? 1st and 10, teams like 2.
And it's the best time to run, right?
1st and 10, you can get them 2.
Right.
So I think a lot of times that's kind of that's the money down where people can get creative because it's guesswork.
And sometimes on stats, that can be a little deceiving because maybe you have an 80-yard rush on 1st down.
That's true.
But over 19 carries, by the way, the stat sheet highlights the big stats. That thing was highlighted the whole game.
Especially when you were only giving up 4 yards a carry for the game.
Right, and you're giving up a yard and a half
1.
more on 1st down rushing the ball. Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that was the key stat. And it's just hard to win that way. And credit them. They had a great chance to win despite that stat. Great chance to win the game. Should have. I mean, I thought the reset for overtime, I thought, you know what, they could steal this. I looked at it at that point because they had got outplayed in the second half, is that they're going to steal this. It just didn't materialize.
It's hard to feel that way only because you've seen so many overtime struggling. You've seen so many of them. But when you look at the way the defense played on those first 2 plays, the first play really, that let you down, right? You can't let that happen.
Yeah, it was shocking. It kind of reminded me of Iowa last year when the run leaked against Iowa after the interception. You're just sort of like, what? How does that happen? Now, it can happen. I mean, a guy got sucked in, the end got sucked in, and there was nobody, I guess the safety was late with help, and it happens. But it was really it's just glaring in that situation. It's so glaring.
Yeah.
So going into this week, though, it's a great time. With 4 straight home games, night games, time to get on the road against Purdue. They have a time to get right. But you look offensively, what they've done the first 4 games, Dylan's been fantastic. The run game is still not quite there, but it's a great week to get off to a good start, get that run game going. With multiple backs, maybe some QB run game, how do you kind of see this thing play out to get this run game going?
I haven't
against
looked at Purdue a lot, Jay. I mean, I know they've given up a lot of yards on the ground, over 300 the last 2 games, but they're running the quarterback. Riley Leonard ran it.
Yeah.
He ran 13 times for 100 yards.
Let me give you a stat. They've given up 32 plays, rush plays of 10 or plus yards.
Yeah.
The next closest is 17,
Yeah.
and they've only gone through 3 games.
You should be able to move on the ground. And I don't know what that will look like. It sounds like they want to stay with Dowdell based on what Matt Rule said on Monday. Would have liked to get him 25 carries against Illinois. That was somewhat of a revelation to me because I thought, from what I'd been hearing, they wanted to kind of keep it to 15-17. But you can get mired in that conversation because it depends how the game's going, right? But yeah, you should get right on the ground. I think they haven't been great. It's been sporadic.
You think you get Mazuka back this week? Is he a big part of this whole ordeal?
Sort of a mystery. You know, he was on the field goal team.
Yeah.
And we asked Matt Rule directly, would he just be in the regular offensive line? He said, I can't answer that right now. Mazuka's probably got to do some things. I mean, it's hard to comment on it because I don't know exactly what happened. But I would hope he's back. I would hope he's back. If he's on the field goal team, he can't be too far away from being cleared, we'll say.
How much is he needed based off of the substitution?
I think in pass protection, a fair amount, even though he's one of those road grading offensive linemen too. But I'm just telling you, that reeks to me of a situation where it's up to his position coach. I think he has the autonomy to kind of let Coach Rule know how that's going. I mean, unfortunately, I've been suspended from a half as a running back against Kansas State and still played on special teams.
Yeah.
So the thing about that is it's not a reward. It's actually more difficult when you can't play what you're normally accustomed to playing.
Yeah.
but
Sure.
You, quote unquote, have to play special teams, right? So sometimes, depending on your mindset, how you embrace being unselfish, it can have a different effect. So, if you're learning to be a team player, that might be a place to start.
And I watched him. He did do a lot of celebrating with his team. He came out, something I hadn't seen him do as much before. Facebook question, Sip, Corey asked, injury update with Turner Corcoran, Tommy Hill, do we know
Yeah,
going
Turner
forward?
Corcoran has a hamstring injury, a significant hamstring injury. I wouldn't look for him anytime soon. Tommy's just a plantar fasciitis. It's a serious injury.
Yeah.
They
And
hurt.
it can be a
It's brutal. I'm
We all
dealing with it
know.
right now. It is not fun
you're
whatsoever.
dealing with it right now?
It's tough.
It's a pain tolerance
Yes.
issue.
Yeah.
That's 100%
Yeah,
what it
it's a
is.
pain tolerance issue, but that's easy. I'm not suggesting that it's easy to deal with.
Yeah. Joshua wants to know your thoughts on the referees and the way games have been called.
Just disappointed. I thought the crew against Northern Iowa should be working at Dairy Queen the next week.
Big Dairy Queen guy.
I like that.
I am a big Dairy Queen guy. Just disappointed, but kind of used to it at this point. It doesn't affect me. I think the players, you just have to play through it. Damon and Jay surely would say their coaches told them that. You can't worry about it. You got to play through it.
Sip, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking the
That's
time.
it, huh? That wasn't that bad.
That wasn't bad.
Felt like an interloper.
easy.
We only
Yeah.
got us in trouble once. Thanks.
You look
Appreciate
nice.
it.
I like your pants.
God, oh, you like them.
The shoes are nice too.
Are those new?